Oh my god, such a mess. I don't know what to do.
Rocket, rocket, all of my rocket sauce. All of my fucking rocket sauce. All of my rocket sauce. Hey!
I mean, what the fuck do you do? I've got this gorgeous 990 Adventure, but the bastard's coming up to 30,000 miles now, and the value of this bike is going to plummet, absolutely plummet, with the mileage I'm doing on it. So I got this in September. It's now February, what, 16th or something? And I've done about 8,000 miles on it. So it's just coming up to 30,000. And I don't know what to do. I love it to bits, but I could just see I'm going to have no money left in it by the time I get round to paying off the fucking, not HP, but the small personal loan I got to top myself up after the last bike when I bought this. So essentially, I'm using it so much, I'm not paying off the amount I owe on it faster than it's depreciating, which fucking sucks. But what do you do? Do you give up a reliable high mileage bike for a lower mileage unknown? I mean, is that just crazy? But then again, I can't find anything. Oh, I should have got left. God damn it. Yeah, I mean, what do you do? So, I mean, I've been trying all sorts of other motorbikes recently. I've tried, well, sticking with the whole dual sport theme, which I seem to quite like. I'm getting a bit old, I'm a bit fat, a bit unhealthy, and this comfortable riding style, but with a powerful engine and good handling, sort of suits everything that I want to do. So I'm sticking with it. So, I don't know. Okay, so sticking with that theme then, I've tried fucking, right, the BMWs. The 1200 GS, not the Adventure, just the stock GS. The Adventure's too fucking big. Tried that, couldn't get on with it. Not a big fan of the Boxer engine, if I'm honest. It's all about engines for me. And I didn't enjoy the handling. It felt heavier at speed than it did when it was weighty, sat there pushing it around the garage floor, so to speak. So I know thousands of people love it, and it was the most, I think, the most purchased bike last year. So the top bike last year. But it ain't for everyone, and it certainly ain't for me. That said, I didn't try the new partially water-cooled 125 horsepower job, but again, you know, it's going to sound the same, so I'm not keen on that. I really like the look of the F800 GS Adventure, so not the stock GS. It's just, on paper it's brilliant, but again, the engine was fucking horrendous. The price of that bike and the piece of shit lawnmower engine that they put in it is just beyond belief. At low RPM, there's no power. It's just smooth, low torque, low power, bit of hardly any grunt. And then once you get to about 5,000 RPM, where things just start happening, the thing just shakes itself to pieces. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's that one. Next up was the Triumphs. So the Tiger 800. Which actually I thoroughly enjoyed, but the engine was so smooth it was almost characterless, and that was a big no, to be honest, because although it's a great bike, and I also tried out the big bastard, the Explorer, but that was just ridiculous. It's big, heavy, again, big smooth engine, but just wasn't for me. I found it really bland, although the styling was killer. So next up, actually no, back to the 800. So the 800 Tiger was much nicer than the Explorer. And the punch that you gain in the Explorer isn't worth gaining all that weight and losing all that manoeuvrability. Ah, shit. So that's a couple of big ones. Next one was the KTM 1190 Adventure, which is a fucking rocket. I mean, it is ridiculously fast, exceptional handling. The engine is like a superbike engine. It's just incredible. You wouldn't believe how fast it is actually. If you haven't driven one, take one out for a test ride. It will shock you. Fuck me! This is so fast. Holy shit. But it's ugly as sin. I mean, what have they done to it? I think they've styled all of their new bikes, and that's every single one, the 1050, the 1190 and the new Super Adventure 1290. They all seem to be styled on the old 990 SMT, which didn't float my boat at all.
Hi.
Morning.
On the back. They're
Sorry?
fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
But are they a motorcycle? Are they a cycle accessory?
They're a 12-volt motorcycle. Go to Bike Fizz. Bike Fizz?
Bike Fizz.
Fizz, yeah.
Lovely.
All right. What he's talking about there, by the way, are some marker lights I've got on the top of my top box from Bike Fizz. I had a set of white and reds on my GSX 650F, and I thought they're brilliant, so I got another set for this, but I only put the rears on because I've got fog lights on the front of this. 1190 Adventure, as I was saying, is it's a rocket, but it's styled on the SMT like the rest of their range. It's a dated look, if you ask me. I don't like it at all, but the traction control and ABS on that bike is absolutely incredible. You've no idea it's even kicking in. It's so awesomely smooth, and it reins in the power and reins in the brakes, it just seamlessly. It's absolutely stunning. And the two times I've test ridden one, it was pissing wet with rain, and it was just completely composed. 150 horsepower on fairly cold tyres, country roads, and it was just incredible. Next up was the long-awaited, eagerly anticipated, you massive fucking cocksucker, eagerly awaited MT-09 Tracer. As you know, I had the MT-09 most of last year, and it's a fantastic bike, but after this I went and tried the Tracer, and unfortunately I just didn't like it. I mean, the engine's great, but they've completely taken the character out of it. I mean, what's a red light, dude? I almost fell off the bloody thing taking it off the forecourt, because I think it was the dealer had put it in B mode. So going along the road on that, you have to ride it in A mode. It's just pointless in anything else, and that still isn't as good as it was. The riding position is okay. It still felt leant forward compared to well, compared to this bike, for instance. But the quality is what you've got to ask yourself. It just wasn't there. The front headlight plastic panels, I know, the painted bits, the shrouds around the lights, they move freely. You can just move them with your fingers. They don't appear to be sort of clipped in place. The screen wobbles all over the place when it's completely fitted and in position. So you can sit there and you can play with the screen. It moves left to right all over the place, and then it's really flimsy, so it flaps around at speed, and it's the only thing you can start looking at. You sat there just looking at this wobbling screen in front of you whilst you're going along. I mean, other than that, actually, I mean, it is a good bike, and they're going to sell thousands because there's lots of people that like them, and I was really interested, but it just isn't for me anymore, unfortunately. Now, whilst I was at the Yamaha dealership, I went and test rode the 1200 Super Tenere, which I've always liked the look of, but I've never even bothered looking at because it's got a parallel twin and it's 260 kilos. And it's a big but, because I went and took it for a test drive and the thing was awesome. Engine is a peach. I mean, okay, it's not much power. For what it is at a 1200, it's got plenty of grunt and power, but it's not mind-blowing, and it's probably about as fast as my KTM, actually. So enough. It has enough power. What surprised me about the Super Tenere was the engine. It's not the usual parallel twin, weird firing sequence, both pistons moving at the same time, Jetson style engine noise, which I hate. It sounds just like a V-twin. They've adopted whatever their cross-plane crank technology is. I've no idea at what points it fires and what points it doesn't, so I don't know what degrees they are. You'd think it was flat. So anyway, the pistons either fire alternately or one just after the other. In any case, it sounds fantastic. weight was fine. Okay, it's 260 kilos, so when you're pushing it about, it's a lardy arse, but the weight's really low down, so I stopped and got off it, and I dropped the thing down to sort of my hip height, leant it over, and then lifted it back up just to see how fucking heavy the thing was, and it was absolutely fine. So it's a good looking bike, good engine, a bit heavy, a little bit wider than the KTM, but that's actually up there on my list. Pretty good. And if you look at the class, there isn't much else out available. You've got the Versys 650 and the Versys 1000. The 650 has that dodgy engine I was talking about. The 1000cc has an inline 4, which just, again, I'm over the whole 4-cylinder thing and no character. So that's out. The V-Strom 1000 potentially has a great engine because I think it's a V-twin based on the TL1000, the old TL1000 engine. But have you seen the thing? It's fucking hideous. So that's out. Alright, so multi-strada, okay. Multi-strada, too expensive. I do about 18,000 miles a year, so it's gonna fall apart. There's no way I'm having an Italian bike for mileage. Italian bikes are for weekend fun, not for commuting, in my mind. And that's it, that's where I'm at. I've made 0 decisions. I've tested bikes, I don't know what to get. The mileage is creeping up on this. The other option is to get a newer, younger one of these, which I'm not opposed to actually, because the newer ones have got a little bit more horsepower, a bit smoother engine. Anyway, leave your answers on a postcard. Post them to the address below. Goodbye.